everyone. Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you all are good. So, now we start the lecture number 9 of chapter 5th, and this one is the last lecture of this chapter. In today's lecture, finally we done the chapter number 5th and do some exercise questions which is important for your examination, and then we'll done this chapter, and from the next lecture we start a new chapter. So in this chapter we have total 9 lectures made. So you all revise that and try to learn. In today's lecture we covered the all revision of this chapter, and one topic which is remain in this chapter, that is complete, that will complete in this lecture. So now we'll start. Okay, so we are going to start lecture number 9 of chapter 5. So come to the page number 67. See students, concentrate on these video lectures and try to avoid external voice. Sorry, that is a page number of chapter 6, and now if you come on page number 54, sorry, 53. Okay, try to avoid external voice and don't lose your concentration. Please focus on video lectures. So here we start the difference between proprietorship and partnership firm. So first we doing this, and then we'll start the revision of this chapter, and finally done this chapter totally in today's lecture. So it is a very important for examination also, and also for the revision purpose, because in this difference mostly covers of sole proprietorship and partnership firm is covered in this topic. So for that, if you don't want to revise the whole topic of sole proprietorship and partnership firm, then you can revise this difference, so you have cover all the important point. So sole proprietorship, and see students, the basis of difference is a compulsory you have to write in your examination paper. If you don't write, sorry, if you want write, then you cannot get good score. So please write the basis of difference in paper, in OC and also in economic subject. So first one, meaning of sole proprietorship. Meaning of sole proprietorship: when a person wishes to establish the business, arrange capital, and bear loss and profit by himself, then it is called sole proprietorship. In common parlance, sole proprietorship means a business which is managed, arranged, and run by only one person. That is called sole proprietorship. Then a partnership firm. Partnership firm means a relation between two or more persons who have agreed to run a business by all or by one or on behalf of others, and agreed to share the profit and loss. See students, in your examinations paper, you write your own words in detailed questions and other informations, but you have to write the same words of textbook in a definition, because definition is a very perfect need in examination. So in only a definition you have to write a word to word from the textbook. In sole proprietorship, numbers of member only a one, and in a partnership firm minimum 2% according to Companies Act 2030 and maximum 100. But according to Companies Act 2004 includes number 10, number of maximum partners in a partnership firm, that is a 50. In normal 100 according to Companies Act 2013, clause number 464. But clause number 10, according to clause number 10, maximum partners are 50. Sorry, only 50, 50. And in our sole proprietorship, only one. Then a capital is brought by honor in sole proprietorship, whereas in a partnership firm, capital is bring by as per the partnership deed, mostly by the all partners. Then establishment. So any person can establish a lawful business, and in a partnership firm established by oral agreement or it can be written, but the written agreement is advisable than a decision. In a sole proprietorship, as there is only one person, so decision can taken quickly, but sometimes it's not perfect, maybe. But in partnership firm, there are more than one partner, so that's why the decision there is a delay in a taking decision. Then a profit and loss, only the owner has to bear profit and loss. But in a partnership firm, profit and loss is distributed among the partners as per the partnership deed in profit and sharing ratio. In our sole proprietorship, no provisions for any registration, and in a partnership firm, uh, registration in as per the act, registration can be done, and but not compulsory, but it is advisable or recommendable. Then a maintenance of secrecy, as there is only one owner, secrecy maintained, because in a sole proprietorship only one person can manage the business and no one a partner another person doing business with them. So that's why the that one person maintain the secrecy of their business. But in a partnership firm, not that much maintenance of secrecy, because there are many a partners, that means more than a one partner, so that's why the maintenance of a secrecy is less compared to the sole proprietorship. Then a transfer of a share. So as an when owner decide, he can transfer the share, because only one person can manage, only one person employed, and only the owner, that is the one person. So that's why the in a sole proprietorship, owner decide he can share transfer or not. But in a partnership firm, if you want to transfer your share, then you have to free consent of all the partners, because if any one partner cannot agree, then you cannot transfer your share. So if there is a consent of all partners, then and only partners can transfer his share. Risk. Risk of business are borne by the owner, but in a sole partnership firm, risk of firm are distributed among the partner. So in a partnership firm, less risk, and in a sole proprietorship is more risk. So here we done the explanation. Now we repeat the basis of difference. There are total 10 points in this difference, and you write on max to max 6 points, because maximum marks of question is 5. So 1 point for half mark. So you have to write 5 to 6 point in sole proprietorship and 5 to 6 point in partnership firm. So total 10 to 12 points enough for the 5 marks. But see, basis of difference is compulsory. I again repeat, basis of difference is compulsory. You have to write in your paper if this question asked in exam. So basis of difference may first meaning, then numbers of member, then capital, then establishment, then decision, then profit and loss, then registration, maintenance of secrecy, transfer of share, and risk. So finally, here we done this question, and now we revised all the hard points of this chapter, and then we'll done this lecture. I hope you not feel like boring, because mostly we repeat the topic. Only hard points we revised. So first one is the sole proprietorship. So in sole proprietorship, characteristics. See students, we just revise only the head points, because many a time we done revision, still I again revise this chapter, because this chapter is a little much big and total 9 chapters of this chapter. Sorry, 9 lectures of this chapter. So characteristics. You all speak with me. Huh? Easy to establish, capital, power of administration, freedom of work and quick division, liability, maintenance of secrecy, personal contact, centralization of ownership and management. Then, advantages of sole proprietorship. Easy establishment process because only one person doing a business, then less capital, then maintenance of secrecy, then quick division, personal contact, then a flexibility, less tax burden, less legal restriction. Then limitations, limited capital, unlimited liability, short duration, limited work capacity, possibility of work decision, lack of advantage of large scale business. Okay, clear? Understood? Okay, good. Then HUF. Any business acquired by way of inheritance, that is called HUF. So characteristics of Hindu undivided family. Existing by law, then management, independent field of operation, membership, financial control, then liability, then lifespan, difficulty in raising fund and insolvency. Then a partnership. See students, I wish you don't need more explanation because too much times we have done the explanation of this topic. So that's why I repeat only the high points of particular questions. Then a partnership firm. Characteristics, relation by agreement, establishment procedure, registration, number of partners, purpose, capital, management, unlimited liability, transfer of ownership, legal status, and lifespan of firm. And I hope you all learn because so many times we revised head points. So till today, you have to learn all the points. Then advantages of partnership firm. Easy and less expensive process of establishment. Then efficient management, increase in goodwill or creditworthiness. Then more capital, advantage of division of labor. Then proper decision. Then a flexibility, protection of interest of minority, direct relation with customer, decentralization of economic power, and less burden of income tax. Then limitations of partnership firm. Limited capital, unlimited liability. See, limited capital compared to company's firm. Otherwise, partnership have a more capital compared to sole proprietorship. Possibility of disagreement, difficulty in maintaining secrets, difficulty in share transfer, delay in decision making, short lifespan. Okay. Now types of partner. So there are 6 type of partner: active partner, dormant partner, nominal partner, partner in profit only, partner by an estoppel or holding out, and a minor partner. And you all know minor partner is a beneficial partner. And for the examination in MCQs questions, it is important that minor partner has a liability in a firm or not. So minor partner has a no liability because that is because he is a minor and he is a beneficiary in partnership firm. Then a types of partner. So there is a 3 types of partnership firm according to time limit, according to liability, and according to registration. So on the basis of a time limit, there are 3 types. Partnership at will. That means when will want to partners dissolve the firm, they can dissolve the partnership. Then a term partnership firm, partners firm for a specific work. That means partnership start for a specific purpose, like construction of building. And whenever construction of a building is completed, then partnership firm automatically dissolve. Then according to liability, there are two types, partnership firm with the limited liability and with the unlimited liability. Then according to registration, that is the registered and unregistered. Now registration of a partnership firm. So registration of a partnership firm is not a compulsory, but it is advisable. So according to Partnership Act 1932, registration of partnership firm can be done. Registration of firm is not a compulsory, but there are a certain disadvantage if registration is not done. So it is advisable that registration of a partnership firm can be done. So details included in the partnership firm: name and address of the firm, then branches of firm, then name and address and telephone numbers or mobile numbers of a partners, then a date of admission of each partner, ratio of profit and loss of each partner, detail regarding the capital of partners and duration of the firm. See, what types of advantage of registration of firm? If you done the registration of partnership firm, that it means if you have a registered partnership firm, then you have some advantages like for the recovery of firm dues, the firm can file a claim. Then partners of a firm can file case in court of law against other partners, or a firm can demand justice from the court of law for his right and she's retiring partner by giving notice to public can free himself from his liability. And the existence of the firm become a public through registration. If you if or your partnership firm is unregistered, then you have not enjoyed this all type of advantages. So that's why I told you the partnership firm registration is advisable. Now partnership deed. So there are many things included in a partnership deed. We just go through a main details, not all the details because we have not that much time for revise. So name and address of firm and name, address, each type of partners, purpose of business, establishment date of firm, then details of partners capital and interest if any, then partners borrowing, interest on borrowing, rate of interest, profit and loss ratios, provisions for power of opening bank account, then assigning authority for various document, rights and duties of partner, then provision for admission of minor partner, then a provision for settlement of account at the time of dissolution of firm, then the method of valuation of goodwill. But see, one thing is that the internal generated goodwill is not mentioned in your notes to account. Then provisions for accounting and bookkeeping of partnership firm. So then the difference between sole proprietorship and partnership firm. So we done in today's lecture that this difference. So meaning then numbers of members. So minimum 2 members in partnership and maximum 150. Then only one person in sole proprietorship. Then capital brought by owner in sole proprietorship and by partners in a partnership firm. Then establishment, decision, profit and loss, maintenance of secrecy is maintained more in a sole proprietorship and less in partnership. Then transfer of share and risk. So everyone, here we done today's lecture. I hope you all enjoyed a lot because in today's lecture we just revise head points and study in detail only one topic. So in homework only complete your format. Okay. So from the next lecture we start a new chapter, and please students be regular learning and submit your homework because FA1 will come soon and also your test will coming. Okay. So goodbye everyone.